Some people step outside and feel their energy rise. They want plans, they want people, they want movement, they want noise. But then there are people who feel the opposite. People who don't feel excitement when they get invited somewhere. They feel pressure. Not because they hate the person inviting them, not because they don't want a life, but because their brain instantly starts calculating the cost. What do I wear? How long will I be there? Will it be awkward? Will I have to talk the whole time? What if I get drained and I can't leave? And maybe you relate to this part the most. You say yes to plans when you're in a good mood. But when the day actually comes, something changes. Your body feels heavier, your energy drops, your mind starts looking for exits, and then you start bargaining with yourself. Maybe I'll go next time. I'll just stay in tonight. I'm not feeling it. I need a reset. And the moment you cancel, you feel it. Not happiness, not excitement, relief, that deep exhale, the kind where your shoulders lower without you noticing, the kind where your chest feels lighter. It's almost like your body whispers, "Thank you." And then the guilt hits right after. Because you wonder, why am I like this? Why do I feel better cancelling than going? Why do I love being home so much? So let's talk about it, honestly. Because loving to stay home isn't automatically a red flag. It isn't automatically depression. It isn't automatically social anxiety. It isn't automatically laziness. For a lot of people, home is simply the only place their nervous system stops bracing. Here's what people misunderstand about homebodies. Most homebodies don't dislike people. They dislike what the outside world pulls out of them. Because being outside isn't just being outside. It means being available. It means being perceived. It means being seen, interpreted, reacted to. It means your face has to look friendly. Your tone has to sound normal. Your responses have to come fast enough. Your energy has to stay stable. Even if you're not trying to impress anyone, social spaces create small expectations. And some people feel those expectations more than others. So when you're out, your mind is doing hidden work. You're reading the room, you're tracking reactions, you're measuring your words before you say them. You're adjusting yourself slightly without even realizing you're doing it. And that constant adjusting is tiring. Not because you're weak, because you're aware. Sometimes the outside world feels like a stage, not a dramatic stage where everyone is staring. A quieter stage, where you still feel like you're supposed to be something. Be fun enough, be confident enough, be interesting enough, be social enough. And if you're going through a hard season, if you're stressed, uncertain, healing, rebuilding, that stage becomes unbearable. Because you don't want to perform when you're barely holding yourself together. So you start preferring home, not because you want to disappear, but because you want to stop pretending you're okay. At home, you can be real. You can be quiet without someone asking what's wrong. You can be tired without apologizing for it. You can be low energy without feeling guilty. Home doesn't demand explanations, and that is a kind of freedom people underestimate. And here's something extremely relatable. Sometimes you don't stay home because you're tired. You stay home because you don't want to be interrupted. When you're home, your thoughts belong to you. You can move slowly, you can pause, you can change your mind mid-task. Outside, everything has a rhythm that isn't yours. People talk faster, plans change suddenly. Noise hits your system all at once. Even a normal outing, just dinner, just a coffee, just shopping, can feel like being pulled out of your own body. And when you're the type of person who needs calm to feel okay, being pulled out of that calm feels exhausting. Now let's go deeper. For some people, home isn't just comfort. Home is control. Outside life has surprises, unexpected conversations, unexpected crowds, unexpected tension, unexpected questions, and questions can feel like pressure. What's new with you? What are you doing these days? How's work? Are you dating anyone? Those questions are normal, but if you've been feeling lost, behind, stuck, or overwhelmed, they don't land as normal questions. They land as a reminder. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to explain my life. I don't even understand myself right now. So instead of going out, you stay in. Not because you're antisocial, because you don't want to feel exposed. You don't want to feel like you're being examined. Sometimes you don't want company. You want invisibility. And that doesn't mean you're broken. It means your nervous system is asking for protection. This is why some people love staying home so deeply, because home is the only place they don't have to hold themselves. Outside, you're holding your expression, holding your mood, holding your reactions, holding your patience, holding your energy level. At home, you can drop all of it. You can sit in silence and not feel awkward. You can eat without thinking. You can exist without managing anyone's expectations. It's like your body finally stops trying to be socially correct. And the more you've been overwhelmed lately, the more home starts to feel like medicine. Also, let's be honest, modern home is not boring. Home isn't just four walls anymore. Home has everything. Your phone, your shows, your snacks, your music, your games, your bed, your space. So being home isn't doing nothing. It's being surrounded by instant comfort. And comfort is powerful, because comfort gives you reward without effort. No awkward moments, no spending money, no travel, no social energy, just peace on demand. And when your mind has been overloaded, peace on demand becomes irresistible. But here's an important truth. There are two kinds of I like staying home. One is healthy. It sounds like home is where I recharge. I need quiet to feel balanced. I like my own space. That's normal. That's self-awareness. That's emotional intelligence. But the second kind is more complicated. It sounds like home is the only place I feel okay. Outside feels too heavy. People drain me too much. I don't want to deal with anything. And that's not a personality trait. That's a nervous system pattern. A pattern built from stress, burnout, overstimulation, or past experiences. And the tricky part is, both types can feel the same on the surface. Both look like staying home, but one is peace, and the other is protection. So if you love being home, don't rush to label yourself. Don't let people shame you into thinking you're wasting your life. Instead, ask a better question. What does home give me that I'm not getting outside? Is it quiet? Is it control? Is it relief? Is it safety? Is it the ability to be yourself without pressure? Because when you understand what your system is seeking, you stop fighting yourself. And you start seeing the truth. Maybe you don't love staying home because you're lazy. Maybe you love staying home because it's the only place your nervous system feels allowed to breathe. If you love staying home, there's a good chance you've heard at least one of these before. You're always in your room. You never come out. You need to socialize more. You're missing life. And maybe you laughed it off. Maybe you said, I'm just a homebody. But privately, you've wondered something deeper. Why does going out feel like such a big task? Why do simple plans feel like a weight? Why does the outside world feel like it asks for more than you have? This is where we have to stop thinking in terms of personality and start thinking in terms of psychology. Because sometimes staying home isn't just what you prefer, it's what your nervous system has trained itself to choose. Not because you're weak, but because of what the outside world represents. First, your brain associates outside with effort, not fun. People assume going out is automatically enjoyable. But the truth is, enjoyment depends on what your mind has to do to survive the experience. For some people, social life is natural. They walk in and flow. For others, social life requires constant micro decisions. What should I say? Am I talking too much? Am I being too quiet? Do I look uncomfortable? Are they bored? Should I smile more? When do I leave? That isn't overthinking because you're dramatic. That's your brain trying to prevent discomfort. And when a situation consistently creates mental strain, your brain labels it as costly. So even a simple invite starts to feel like work, not because you dislike the people, because you know what it takes from you. Second, relief becomes a reward. Here's something most people don't realize. Every time you cancel plans and feel better, your brain learns a lesson. Not an emotional lesson, a biological one. Relief equals reward. Because the nervous system is always searching for the fastest way to reduce tension. So if cancelling removes tension instantly, your system starts choosing it more and more. This is how avoidance becomes automatic. You don't sit there thinking, I want my life to shrink. You just follow the feeling that says, stay home, you'll feel calmer. And you do, and it works. So your brain repeats it. This is why staying home can become so strong. Not because home is magical, but because avoiding stress feels like safety. Third, home gives you control, and control lowers anxiety. Outside life is unpredictable. Even if the plans are simple, the variables are endless. Traffic noise, people. You didn't expect to see changes in schedule, awkward moments, random emotions from others, pressure to stay longer than you want. When your system is already tired, unpredictability feels like danger. At home, the environment obeys you. You decide what happens, how long, it happens when it stops. That sense of control is calming, so home becomes your nervous system's favourite place. Because it requires less defence, less monitoring, less adaptation, less managing. Fourth, for many people, being seen is exhausting. This part is huge. Some people don't fear socialising. They fear being perceived, because being perceived means people notice your mood, people ask questions, people expect responses, people form opinions. Even if they don't mean harm, attention can feel like pressure. So staying home becomes a way to exist without being analysed. It becomes the only space where you can be quiet without explanation. And if you've ever felt like you've had to act okay in public, home starts to feel sacred. Because it's the only place where you can drop the mask. The fifth reason, overstimulation makes you crave isolation. We live in a world that constantly hits the nervous system. Notifications, noise, screens, information, comparison, speed. So some people don't stay home because they're lazy. They stay home because they're already overloaded. Their mind is full. Their system is already buzzing. And going outside adds more input, more sound, more faces, more decisions. So the brain craves the opposite: silence, stillness, familiarity. Home provides that. It's like lowering the volume on life. The sixth reason, sometimes staying home, is self-protection from old experiences, and this is the part that's harder to admit. Sometimes the love of staying home isn't about comfort, it's about history. Because maybe at some point you felt rejected, you felt embarrassed, you felt excluded, you felt judged, you felt misunderstood, maybe not once, maybe repeatedly. So your system learned, outside equals emotional risk. Even if you want to connect, the body remembers the past. And when the body remembers pain, it tries to prevent it. So it pushes you toward home. It tells you, don't go, it's safer here. And the scary part is, home does feel safer, so it becomes your default. Now, let's pause here and name the real truth. Staying home is not always a problem, but it becomes a problem when your peace becomes your prison. When you begin to avoid not just people, but opportunities, growth, new experiences, new versions of yourself. Because slowly, without noticing, your world can become smaller and smaller, until your comfort zone is the only zone left. So the question isn't, is staying home bad? The real question is, am I choosing home because I love it, or because I've learned to fear what's outside? Because those are two completely different stories, and you deserve to know which one you're living. So here's the part nobody says out loud. You can love being at home and still feel uneasy about how much you avoid the outside world. You can enjoy solitude and still miss connection. You can feel peaceful indoors, but also feel like life is passing too quietly. And that conflict can be confusing because it makes you ask, am I healing or am I hiding? Am I resting or am I running? Do I actually like being alone, or did I just get used to it? This is why the goal isn't to shame yourself for staying home. The goal is to understand what staying home has started to mean for you. Because being a homebody isn't the problem. The problem only appears when home becomes the only place you feel safe enough to exist. When the outside world starts feeling impossible, that's when comfort stops being comfort and becomes a wall. Soft, quiet, invisible, but still a wall. First, stop treating going out like a personality test. A lot of people secretly believe, if I don't enjoy going out, I'm doing life wrong. But that's not true. You don't have to become louder. You don't have to become more social. You don't have to become a different person. You just need one thing: choice. You want to stay home because you want to, not because your body panics at the idea of leaving. Freedom is not being outside every day. Freedom is being able to choose either one without fear. Second, stop aiming for big social energy. If you're someone who loves staying home, forcing yourself into high-energy plans usually backfires, because your system doesn't trust big changes. So instead of trying to become social, aim for something smaller. Contact. Small contact with life. A short walk outside, a quick store visit, a coffee run, a quiet bookstore, a park, not a party, not a long hangout, not something that drains your battery completely. Just enough exposure to remind your nervous system. Leaving doesn't equal danger. Third, keep your calm. Bring it with you. A lot of homebodies feel overwhelmed outside because they leave home and leave their regulation behind. So build portable calm. This means headphones or calming music, comfortable clothes, leaving early on purpose, giving yourself permission to go home whenever you want, choosing quiet places, not crowded ones, taking short breaks alone, even while you're out. You're not weak for needing this. You're smart for knowing your system, because the goal isn't to suffer through social life. The goal is to move through life without feeling like you're losing yourself. Fourth, replace all-day plans with exit goals. If you struggle to go out, don't make the goal a huge event. Make the goal a simple exit. For example, I will step outside for 10 minutes. I will walk to the corner and come back. I will sit somewhere public for 15 minutes. I will say yes, but only for 1 hour. Your nervous system doesn't need pressure. It needs proof. Proof that leaving doesn't ruin you. Proof that you can go out and still be okay. Proof that you can return home without feeling exhausted and destroyed. That proof builds confidence slowly, not through motivation, through repetition. Fifth, don't confuse isolation with peace. This part matters. Solitude is healthy when it restores you, but isolation feels different. Isolation has a quiet sadness to it. It's when you stay home and you don't feel calm, you feel numb, you don't feel rested, you feel disconnected. And if you're in that space, it doesn't mean you failed. It means your nervous system may have used staying home as protection for too long. And protection, after a while, becomes loneliness, even if you wanted it at first. Sixth, build a small circle life instead of a big social life. Some people don't need a huge group. They need 1 or 2 safe people, one friend who doesn't drain them, one person who doesn't demand performance, one connection that feels simple. Because social stress often comes from the pressure to be entertaining, impressive, or fun. But safe connection doesn't require that. Safe connection feels like you can show up as you are. Quiet days, messy days, low energy days. So instead of chasing more friends, choose safer friends. The kind that don't make you feel like you have to become someone else just to belong. 7th, create a life you don't need to escape from. This is the deepest one. Sometimes people love staying home because home is the only place they feel okay, which means the real question becomes, what makes outside feel so heavy? Is it burnout? Is it stress? Is it self-doubt? Is it comparison? Is it feeling behind? Is it anxiety? Because you can't build a life that feels free while carrying invisible weight everywhere you go. And staying home won't remove that weight forever. It only delays it. So you don't need to become a different person. You need to become a safer place for yourself, internally, so that the outside world stops feeling like a threat. And here's the final truth. Home is not the enemy. Home is beautiful. Home is peace. Home is where you reset. But your home was never meant to be the border of your life. It was meant to be your base, a place you return to, not a place you disappear inside. So if you love staying home, keep that softness, keep that calm. Just don't let comfort quietly steal your courage, because you deserve a life that feels safe and alive.